Questions when he's ready. Let me have a go from everybody. Anybody need a couple seconds? Good. All right, Coach.
All right, thanks for coming. As long as I'm running this program, we're not going to make National Signing Day a zoo. I think too much emphasis gets put on it around the country because the kids that we have coming to our program that signed with us today are going to be an important part of this team going forward. But it has nothing to do with wins and losses on the field or making our players into better men and helping them graduate with degrees. So we're going to focus on mostly those things. That being said, it was a good day for us. I'm glad to do a press conference and talk about all the guys that we signed today. Really good group of high school football players, really good group of human beings, and we're really excited to bring them to UCF and make them part of our family and part of our brotherhood with our football team. There's never going to be a lot of hype and hoopla around it with us, but we had a lot of fun putting this class together. I can't thank my staff enough. These guys haven't had much time down here on the ground in Florida to get this group of players to agree to come here and be excited about coming here. And the job that my staff did is unbelievable to get this kind of signing class put together in such a short amount of time. We're thrilled to have them join our family. They're going to have to come in and earn whatever they get. They all understand that. But I know we've recruited a lot of potential to UCF in this class, and excited to work with our current players and to add these guys to our team somewhere down the road this summer. Thank Danny White for giving me the chance for making the decision as fast as he did so I can get down here and get started recruiting. And I think it's a collective effort of a lot of people to have this kind of thing come together, and we're thrilled about the success and the product, the results of what happened today. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
How did you approach this first class? Did you watch film and say we need this, this, and this, or was there another approach that you took?
We wanted the best players available. To be honest with you, we're not even as a coaching staff anywhere near as familiar with our own team as we would like to be to know what exactly our needs were. Coming off a tough season last year, we felt like we were going to take the best possible players that we could. I think there were some areas that we definitely wanted to focus on in this recruiting class, but we had about 21 spots available to us, and we wanted to sign the best players that we possibly could find.
How big was it? I think it was about a week or so after you were the coach that you got some players committed, locally, guys that can just swing by and take a visit. 3 of those guys were part of this class. How big was it to kind of get things started with those 3?
Well, I think getting some early success and some people in the boat early on was key, not only for some momentum, but also to get the number closer to where we wanted to get it so that we could dial it down and really identify the guys that could round out the class. So this was an organizational puzzle that we had to put together, as well as a recruiting puzzle that we had to put together. And getting some guys in the boat early really helped us realize what we needed to still find and identify the kids that we were going to go after.
Was recruiting the state of Florida as important as it looks with the kids you got, or did it just sort of happen that way?
Listen, I think the state of Florida plays as good a high school football as there is in the country. There's as much talent here as in any state in the country. We can win with that talent right here. We're going to continue to recruit Florida. We're going to recruit Florida hard, and I'm thrilled to have the majority of our class come from right here in the state of Florida.
You said you wanted to get 20 athletes. You did. Did your recruiting experience meet your expectations, or did it exceed it?
I was just talking with Ryan Held, one of our assistant coaches, about how many players we were able to reach out to in a short time and what percentage of those we ended up signing. And our percentage was really high. Almost every kid that we got in contact with was interested in this place. That's what really attracted me to this job, and I think that's what's going to attract players today and down the road to this place. Everybody sees this as a place that we can win games, sees this as a great university, sees this as a great opportunity. So that's a heck of a ringtone.
That's a great ringtone right there.
So we're excited about it, and there's so much talent right here in the state of Florida. We're going to keep recruiting it hard, and we're going to make this a place that a lot of kids in the state want to come to.
Coach, in your previous experiences of coaching and just recruiting in general, how have you tried to flip, the hype and the impact of recruiting and recruits to the players that you already have on your roster?
Well, we tell the recruits, we're going to tell the players, you get done with recruiting as an 18-year-old, and the minute signing day's over, you don't have 100 people telling you how great you are. You go from a highly prized recruit to a freshman. So I think to put too much emphasis on it is a mistake. The freshmen that come in and succeed early on are usually the ones that are able to separate themselves from the recruiting and go back to work. They made themselves into some of the best high school players in the country. Now it's time to start over and make yourself into one of the best college players. That isn't just going to happen. So getting players into a university is as important as anything as far as winning and losing goes. But it's up to those kids now to get to campus and do what they have to do to make themselves successful. So this is just one piece in a long process.
Coach, when you took over, you said you were going to stress the Central Florida area. What sort of things did you do to do that? I mean, did you visit all the high schools? How did that work out?
Well, when I got here, we only had about a week left before the dead period. When I first arrived in Orlando, Coach Beckton was helping, Kevin Smith was helping, Coach Fish was helping, Travis Fisher. Got to give a lot of credit to Ryan Callahan, who stayed on in our recruiting office. Those guys were the only ones that knew the names of the kids that we were going to target. We started right here locally. I think we had 3 kids from within 40 miles of here commit in the first week, and that really got the ball rolling. So I give a ton of credit to T. Fish and Beck and Ryan for getting us off on the right foot.
How were you received by the local kids and the local coaches?
Our reception has been unbelievable. When we've gone out to schools, when people have seen the UCF logo walk into their high schools, kids are excited, coaches are excited. There's a lot of momentum and enthusiasm around it right now. It's going to be our job to continue to build on that. I think we added some pieces to the roster that are going to help us either sooner or later, but it's going to be our job to keep this momentum and enthusiasm growing.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the quarterback from Hawaii that you got? I know you were familiar with him. I know he went to the Oregon camp. I think he was the most valuable player over there. When I talked to him, he said, you actually reached out to him after you got the job. He wasn't initially interested because he thought he was going to Hawaii. Obviously, reconsidered. Can you talk a little bit about him and what kind of skill set he's going to bring?
Yeah, Mackenzie Milton is a kid from Mililani High School on Oahu. He's been at Oregon camp twice, and I've had a relationship with him for quite a while. My opinion, if Mackenzie was 6'4", he'd be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the country. He's not. He's about 6 foot. I saw him play at Oregon camp, and he was far and away the best player, for sure the best quarterback at that camp. Really excited about him. We're going to get him in here and let him get to work. Mario Verduzco did an unbelievable job recruiting him. In fact, he had to fly all the way out to Hawaii from Orlando, which took about a whole week of recruiting. And he probably spent a little time on Waikiki. But we're really excited about Mackenzie. He's just got the it factor, whatever it is that a quarterback needs. I saw it in camp, and I saw it on high school tape.
Coach, you say you don't like the zoo of National Signing Day. Would you be in favor of an early signing period?
I don't want to talk about rules or anything today. You're just never going to have, sorry guys, you're not going to have a video camera in our office watching us celebrate if a kid commits or doesn't commit, because we're going to go to battle with whatever kids want to be here, and we want kids that want to be a part of this program.
Why don't you like that? Why don't you like the whole spectacle?
I think just too much is made of it. If you probably went back and looked for 5 years, a lot of the people that coaches are on TV celebrating about probably never played one down of college football. There's a lot more that goes into it than that, and we're certainly excited to add talented people to our organization, and we're going to get as excited as anybody and have as much fun with it as anybody. But signing day isn't going to win you games.
How did you recruit a player from Finland gotta be a story behind that.
He's originally from Congo, right, DeWitt here? He's originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo or Republic of Congo, I can't remember. Moved to Finland and then moved to the United States of America. He's at a junior college now. Coach DeWitt actually got on the phone with his dad, who didn't speak English very well. Coach DeWitt is fluent in French, and so is his dad. So I didn't know I hired a bilingual coach, but that certainly helped us in the recruiting process.
Coach, and he's a judo champion? I mean, is there a more unique kid you've ever?
That's information I wasn't aware of.
Coach, did you have any unusual experiences on the recruiting trail? I read about one coach had dinner with a parrot and a monkey, or just weird random things that happened.
Well, there's new stories that come out every time you hit the road for a month in recruiting. I'm really pleased with the type of kid that we have coming in here. I know we have talented football players coming in, but was really excited about the personalities and the character of these kids. So there's several things that happened that made us laugh. Coach Austin and I were at Aaron Dowdell's house and had a great time with him and his family. His dad's a big Star Wars fan, so we got to play with his Mace Windu lightsaber for a while. So every house has its own personality. Every recruit has its own personality, and it's fun to get to know those people.
What was it like recruiting, I guess, the receiver that announced this afternoon, Dredrick Nelson? I know he was committed to Minnesota for a long time. You guys obviously knew he was coming because you were ready to announce it as soon as he announced it. I guess everyone's watching on Periscope on Twitter to see what he was going to do. What was that recruitment like the last few weeks?
We're excited to get Dredrick. Coach Beck and especially Troy Walters did a great job with him. I think he's excited to be a part of our offense. I think he was excited to stay a little bit closer to home. You know, we need some guys to come in here and be home run hitters on our offense, and guys that can take the ball in space and make people miss and score from a long way out. I think we addressed that need, and Dredrick was a big part of that.
Were you guys watching that feed? I guess some high school kid had a Periscope. Were you guys kind of watching that take place when he made his announcement?
We had it on one of the cell phones in the office. It was fun to watch.
Is there any satisfaction for you when you beat out a SEC school, an ACC school, to get a kid to come here?
No, you know, recruiting is competitive, and I think that's one thing that our coaches love about it is we're all competitors, and recruiting becomes a competition too. I'm not surprised that UCF can compete with those people in recruiting. It's going to be our job to make sure that we can compete with those people on the field. But this place has so much to offer. There's so many great things about the community in Orlando and this university and what we're going to build in this football program. It doesn't surprise me at all that we're able to compete with some of those people for recruits.
What time did you guys all go to bed last night? What time did you guys get here?
A big part of the staff had dinner together last night. I think we finished at about 10 o'clock, and I was in the office probably a little before 6, and I definitely wasn't the first one here. I can't ever beat Coach Verduzco to the office. He's in here at 5 o'clock every day.
Some coaches put a timetable on how successful an incoming class is. It's usually a few years or whatever. What's your philosophy going to be? How are you going to be able to tell whether this was a hit?
Well, I don't think you know everything about a recruiting class until 4 or 5 years is up, and you see how all those people progressed through your program and helped you. Like I said, right now, all I can say is we recruited a really talented bunch of high school football players, and I think we recruited a lot of potential. Now it's up to us and to them to make sure that they maximize that potential. And we'll see how it goes. I think they're coming into a unique situation because we're going to let everybody compete. We're going to play the best players that we have available to us, whether they're seniors or whether they're first-year players. And I think that might have been a little bit of what helped us in this recruiting class is these guys expect to come in and compete, and we're going to give them a chance to, but they're going to have to earn what they get.
Coach, did the being 0-12 last year hurt you or help you?
You know, I don't think it came up much. I think everybody saw this as a fresh start. I think the recruits recognized a lot of things about what we were doing, and we're excited about it. I think they see it as a fresh start, and and kids wanted to be a part of it. I can't thank the staff enough. We didn't have the whole staff the entire time in recruiting, and in a short amount of time, what they were able to get done with this class is amazing. I can't wait to see what they can do when they have more time to recruit.
Coach, last year, mostly out of necessity, a lot of the younger players, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, had to play. When going out on the recruiting trail and getting these kids, are you expecting to see some of them get playing time next year, or was the anticipation to hopefully not have to do that?
Well, people keep asking me about players on our team and recruits. If someone tells you how a car runs before they've even taken it on a test drive, they're probably not being real honest with you. We haven't had a chance to spend much time with our current team. We haven't gotten to see our recruits on the field. So for me to speculate of who's going to play and how many are going to get to play would be foolish. I know, like I said, we've recruited a lot of potential in this class. I'm thrilled with it. I think the sky is the limit for what some of these guys can accomplish, but it's up to them to come in here and hit the ground and get to work and make sure it happens.
Is there a certain playing style that these kids have that maybe are compatible with the playing style you want to instill in this team?
You know, that's one of the great fits about what we're bringing to UCF. I think the majority of high schools in this state run an offense that's at least similar to what we're going to run. We're going to be the only university in the state that runs this type of offense. So it's a natural fit for a lot of people. Defensively, we're going to play a fast, aggressive style, and I think that appeals to a lot of people. So for what we can get out of high school football in the state of Florida and what those kids should and will want to play in, I think it's a great fit for us and for them.
Coach, I think everybody, based on your reputation as offensive coordinator, thought you were going to sign like 20 wide receivers and running backs, but he's actually signed more defensive players than offensive players.
Yeah, I did that so Coach Fernandez wouldn't give me a lot of grief. Listen, like I said, we wanted to sign the best players possible. We're going to play a fun style of offense and fast. That's going to lead to more opportunities and more plays for guys on defense. And our defense is going to have to play a lot of snaps and be on the field a lot, and we need a lot of great players to get that done too. Kids should want to come play in that on the defensive side, because if you play 100 more snaps than somebody else in a year and you're a pass rusher, you might get 5 more sacks than someone else. I think all those things appeal to these kids and will continue to appeal to recruits down the road.
There's some talk, I know the kid that had been committed to Oregon locally, McDoom, he wanted to take a visit someplace else. Oregon didn't like it, so they pulled a scholarship, I guess. What's your philosophy on players who are committed? Do you mind them taking other visits? I know a couple of the guys did. Is that something that is a case-by-case thing with you? Or?
Well, I never want to talk about another university or a kid that's not here. That's irrelevant to us. And I think as we build this thing and have some more time to put our processes in place, then we'll come up with our expectations for those types of things.
And one thing I know the recruits talked about, you guys went to Epcot. How did that come about? Was that something that you think the recruits really enjoyed this year?
Well, they didn't go to Epcot. They went to dinner. It was a recruiting dinner, yeah.
Anything else for Coach Frost?
Coach, Adrian Killens was the first guy to make that leap with you. What do you see from him?
We're excited about AK. He was the first one in, drove down from Daytona to commit to us after a couple conversations on the phone. He's really fast, and we're looking to get as many fast guys into the boat as we can. Excited to talk about all these recruits. He's one of many that I think can really go, can really run, and can be a game breaker and a game changer for us. We also had to address our offensive and defensive line and make sure that we were getting people up front on both sides. I think we did a great job with that. Got some real hitters on the defensive side, got some pass catchers and some guys that can run the ball on the offensive side. Really balanced class, and I'm excited about all of them.
I assume you don't pay much attention to the recruiting rankings.
The recruiting rankings are they are what they are. It's flattering to see where you end up. I recruited Marcus Mariota, helped recruit him with Coach Helfrich to Oregon. He was 2-star when we started recruiting him and only had 3 offers. So it's great to look at rivals and see what you're ranked at the end of the day. But if it was 100% certain which kids were going to be great players and which weren't, then this process would be a lot easier. That's just impossible. So we're thrilled to be ranked where we are in the recruiting rankings. but that doesn't always mean you're going to win or lose. A lot of work has to go into it to make sure that victories come.
How many stars were you?
I think I came out before there were stars, to be honest.
How did you commit? Did you do one of those hat ceremonies somewhere, or did it happen before that became in vogue, I guess?
I also committed before the internet, so there was a lot less fanfare.
Coach, what's your philosophy on the walk-on program? You came from Nebraska where it was walk-on program's pretty big. What kind of kid are you looking for in the walk-ons? Because you got a lot of talent in Florida, where some kids didn't get an opportunity to play in college.
We want to expand the walk-on program. I come from a university at the University of Nebraska when I was there that really put a lot of emphasis on the walk-on program. We want to accept with open arms great players that want to stay in the state of Florida. We're going to treat walk-ons as well or better than we're going to treat our scholarship guys. They're going to get every opportunity that anybody else got. I think this is a great place for a kid to make a decision to come walk on, and we're going to actively pursue some of those guys to open our arms to them and see if they want to come join the program.
Coach, what role does social media play? UCF Fast, Brandon, those things, your coaching staff and you, it seems like that plays a significant role with the generation of players today. How significant is that to you as you promote the UCF brand?
Well, I think our sports information department and marketing guys did a great job with all that. I love how we're branded right now. It seems to appeal to a lot of people, but more importantly, it speaks to what we want to be. Our Rise and Conquer term, that means something to our players, that they're going to get up every day and conquer whatever task there is in front of them. And when that's over, they're going to rise and conquer the next challenge. That means a lot to us. The UC Fast means a lot to us. That's where our offense is going to play. The UC Fierce on defense, that's how our defense is going to be expected to play. I think those people have done an unbelievable job with that. You can't recruit without social media anymore. I've hired a bunch of guys to join my staff that are unbelievable recruiters and unbelievable people. More than anything, they're guys that I enjoy being around, and sometimes I can be like a 21-year-old, so if I enjoy being around them, I think most of these kids are too, and will enjoy being around them too. These guys had a lot of fun with social media throughout this recruiting process, and I expect that to continue.
Do you get on it, too? Do you do it?
I have Twitter.
You don't follow him, Mike?
I might.
Any more questions?
Do you do your own tweets?
I do. I wouldn't trust anyone with my Twitter.
Coach, as you get ready to go into spring ball, what's your expectation? What do you want to happen after spring ball? What's your level of expectation?
I want us to be like the players. As a coaching staff, as an organization, we're expecting them to rise and conquer each new challenge. I think our coaching staff did a great job of stepping up and winning today on signing day, but that's just one piece. Now it's on to football and getting our guys prepared for spring ball, and then every day we go out to spring ball, we're going to work to get better and try to conquer that day. It's small victories and hard work that are going to get us where we want to get, and today was just one step, and tomorrow will be another.
Coach, you had one early enrollee in Christian Beard. Are you expecting him to be here for the spring? How will that benefit a player to be here that early?
Christian's already enrolled. He's working out with our team right now, and we're going to put him through the paces tomorrow, the same as every other player on our team.
Anything else?
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Frost, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Do you have one more scholarship about that?
Maybe, depending on how it works.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. If anyone needs assistant coaches, there are available. Oh, no.